bienvenidos. En este vídeo vamos a hacer la misión legendaria de Furina. Por fin. Vamos a ver dónde está esta señora, vamos a ver qué ocurre. Os he preguntado por el chat qué nota le dais. Le habéis dado notas muy altas y sobre todo por el final. Así que, bueno, a ver qué se cuece y a ver si nos sorprende esta misión. Antes de nada deciros que tenéis el link en la descripción de mi canal de Discord por si queréis uniros y de mi canal de Twitch, donde ahora mismo estamos en directo. Y ahora sí, vamos a ver a Furinita. Por el pasado se llama la misión. Bueno, en la parte esta de la misión. Venga, vamos. ¿Tengo que hablar aquí? Ah, no. Ah, no, que aquí no es. Que aquí no es. Vale, espera. No, que aquí no es. Ah, sí. ¿No? ¿Es aquí? Ah, no es aquí. Oye, me ha salido como marcado un... Ha sonado como si me hubiera encontrado un hidroculus, pero no lo he visto, la verdad. Bueno, da igual, dejémoslo ahí. Me acabo de dar cuenta que estaba poniendo bien con la solamente. Viejas amigas.
お二人は相変わらずお元気ですね。さすが冒険者協会の貴重な助っ人。ちょうど緊急依頼があるのですが、ただ依頼人が提供できる報酬を考えると、
Se me había olvidado.
冗談だから。とりあえずどんな状況なのか説明してくれよ。簡単に申し上げると、依頼人は自らの劇団に所属している役者の欠員を埋めるため、ミュージカルの役者を探しているのです。しかし劇団の運営状況は芳しくなく、ギャラすら払えないそうで。確かにそれは無理難題だな。はい。
Ah, encima no se le va a pagar. Madre mía. Bien empezamos.
一人もいらっしゃいませんでした。公演日はどんどん迫ってくるのに、助っ人が見つからなければ延期せざるを得なくなるでしょう。事情は分かったぞ。どう手伝ってやりたいけど、オイラたちミュージカルなんかできないもんな。
Bueno, Paimon, yo a ti te he visto cantando con Ito. Así que eso de que tú no tienes experiencia en actuaciones musicales, no me lo creo.
もし手伝いたいお気持ちがあるようでしたら、依頼人はそちらですから、直接舞台に上がって役者になることはできなくても、他に解決策はないか。
Eso pasó después, ¿en serio? Tenía que empezar antes.
あいつだったのか。道理でしかめっ面をしてるわけだ。おう、そうだな。行こうぜ。こんにちは。ミュージカルの役者を探してるんだってな。
おお、君たちのことは知ってるよ。まさか。
No, nosotros somos demasiado famosas como para actuar en tu cuchitril. ¿Te imaginas? ¿Ves? Somos demasiado famosas, lo siento.
でも残念だけど、オイラたちはミュージカルなんてできないんだ。
そうか。いや、大丈夫だ。やっぱりギャラなしなんて空想の話に過ぎないよな。
Hombre, hijo, es que ni un centavillo, ni invitarla a la comida.
今回の公演は諦めるしかない。
Están perdiendo la humildad bruscamente. Lo que espera si me hacéis famosa, ¿te imaginas? No, es broma, es totalmente coña.
知らないかもしれないが、うちはさほど目覚ましい劇団じゃないんだ。いかにも場当たり的な寄せ集めの劇団でね。舞台や小道具も質素なものばかりで、観客が僕たちの芝居を見に来てくれただけで満足っていう感じなのさ。もし儲けることができてれば、劇団だって解散には追い込まれなかったはずだ。
解散？お前ら解散するのか？
ああ、冒険者協会から聞いてなかったのか。実はこれが僕たちの最後の公演で、この公演が終わったらみんなそれぞれ別の道を歩み始める。だから誰もいい加減なピリオドは打ちたくない。これまでずっと苦労して汗を流ああ うちの主演女優は幼い頃から持病があって
Querido, no me cuentes
発作を起こ
tus
すと全
penas,
身
que
の
todos
力が
tenemos
抜けてしまうん
problemas,
だ
¿eh? Ahí, ¿no?
最後の
Nah,
公演に
ya me estoy pasando, ya me estoy
もう
pasando,
早
ya
く
paro,
来て
ya
もら
paro.
う彼女が出演しなければ
Es que eso de que nos
許すから
hayamos
言
hecho
わせてしまう
famosas
が
aquí, la Paimon y
でも
yo,
せめて他のメンバーたちは
somos
円
tan
満に幕を引
solicitadas.
けるよ
なるほどな。そういうスポンサーとしてモラを代わり
Que
に
si patrocinamos la obra. Paimon, Paimon, en serio. Pregunta, ¿quieres estar 3 días sin comer? Si estás 3 días sin comer, entonces sí tenemos para patrocinar la obra. Pero eso no va a ocurrir, reina. Tú no te vas a tirar 3 días sin comer.
いやいやとんでもないそんな大きな借りを作るわけにはそれに絶対返せる保証もないし
確かにそうだな。金目当てのやつを連れてきちゃったら共同でいろいろするのにも問題が多く、ここはやっぱり一番の敵役を探さないとな。
No, a ver, es la mejor actriz que hay.
いけるんじゃないか。ひひオイラたち心が
La pobre. O sea, después de haber actuado durante 500 años, la van a hacer de actuar otra vez. No, ¿nos da vergüenza?
あいつ
Le puedes decir que yo tengo maldad. Esta gente tiene más maldad todavía.
ミュージカルへの出演なんてきっとちょちょい。
誰か思いついたのか有名な君冗談だよな
冗談なんかじゃないぞ。あいつ実際に舞台に立ったことがあるかどうかは知らないけど
Desconoce si ha actuado antes. Paimon sí lo desconoce, pero Luis sí lo sabe, ¿no?
絶
O
対
sea, la hemos visto.
ってな。
それは確かにその通りだがフリーナ様は昔
O sea,
数々の王
no
道
sé.
演劇に出演なさっ
Si
てた
se
からね
refiere profesionalmente, no
no
personalmente. Segura que Paimon no sabe, mi hija. Ya, pero no sé. Primero que están pensando en la misma persona y luego dice que nunca ha visto actuar a Furina. Raro a Paimon, la verdad. Esta tía, es que a Paimon a veces me huele muy raro.
でも
Tío.
たとえあの方が水人じゃなくなったことをなんたってフォンテーヌにはまだあの方のことをアイドルだと思っている人が数多くいる僕だって分かったよもしもフリーナ様が受け入れてくださるのならうちのメンバーはみんなフリーナ様と共演したいって夢を持っているはずだからねでもそれ以前にあの方が興味を示してくださるかどうかご自身の価値への影響をどう
そこは心配しなくていいぞ。オイラたちが交渉すれば分かることだしな。それに今のあいつは昔みたいに常に偉そうな姿勢を保つ必要はない。
本当にありがとう手伝ってくれて
そういえばフリーナのやつ
Diviertas a Furina.
某社のパレメルモニアにそれならあの方の今の
Uy,
住
uy,
所
la
を知っていますの
Catherine,
で
qué
教
movidita
えて差し上
está.
げましょう。
¿Se la han agitado ahí otra vez? Claro.
うわいつからそこにいたんだよ
La única vez que la Catherine se ha movido así, muy... Estaba la Furina,
力になれることがないか見に来ました。依頼人を危機から救うのも私の仕事ですから。
みんな本当にありがとう
よし住所も分かったことだし行ってくるぜ。
Vale, vamos a ponerlo en inglés. La pequeña oceanida. ¿Sabes que era literalmente el meme de Ten Shin Han, pero con Paimon? No sé cuál es ese meme, la verdad. Vale, pregunta por las intenciones. ¿Las intenciones de Furina? ¿Que preguntemos por las intenciones de Furina?
Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives here? Not that there's anything wrong with this place. It's just a bit of a step down from the Palais.
You know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner isn't in earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Uy, qué bomba triste.
Okay,
Tiene
when did
mi
popular
queridísima
thin air become
Furina.
all the rage? First Catherine and now you?
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags.
Es que ella es así. Que todavía no hemos hablado con ella siendo ella real.
I used to have a much wider range of choices when it came to food. But now I'm finding that simple, traditional home, not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week.
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
How rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity!
Ya empieza a ser ella.
It's not like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house. Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre fossilor or blubber profiteroles and...
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Como si ella supiera, si ella era más que come.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace. Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way. Shoo!
Shoo.
Sorry, we're sorry. Please don't be mad.
A ver, que su calidad de vida ha bajado porque haya querido. Ya te digo yo, si habla con Nobilete, se queda en el palacio.
Yeah, exactly.
Ya ves tú, Nobilete, mientras que tenga agüita,
I wasn't trying to make fun of you.
ella se queda tranquila.
Hang on a sec. You weren't exactly holding back either.
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon. I don't even have a vision, you know.
No tiene visión.
Don't worry, it's nothing that serious. It's just very specific, and you're the one with the power to help.
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the lecture about your attitude. So tell me. I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense. After all, I was once the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well-versed in all the various performing arts. A mere musical is but given the present circumstances, I'm afraid I must regretfully
How come? It sounds like this would be a breeze for you.
No, vea, Paimon. Tía, o sea, dile, a Paimon le parece un trabajo muy sencillo para ti. Llevas 500 años actuando. No te va a pasar nada por actuar en una obrita de pacotilla. Eso es lo que le ha faltado.
But I have made a decision to retire from the stage.
Hay que entender a esta señora, por Dios.
Although I
Qué
am no
poca
longer
empatía.
required to play the role of the Hydro Archon. The time I spent inhabiting that
A ver,
character
que por otra
has
parte
left
no
an
vamos a...
indelible mark on me.
A ver, sí voy a juzgar la parte de Paimon y de Lumin, porque la verdad es que no saben cómo está Furina, no les importa un carajo, no son nada empáticas, pero es verdad que Furina necesita superar ese bache. Eso es cierto, necesita pasar página. Pero en cuanto a Paimon y Lumin, me parece muy poco empática y muy egoísta, sinceramente.
Centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely. I'm not the same person I once was. Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
Paimon can understand.
Paimon, tú no lo entiendes. Cuando dice, Paimon también lleva actuando toda su vida. Desde que llegué a Teyvat.
But this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's okay.
Whether it's a one-off or not, it's a boundary that I've committed to no longer cross. If I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same as not having a boundary in the first place. So I'm not going to perform, and that is that.
Okay, guess there's no convincing you. Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe? Do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
Nope.
Short and
Nope.
to the point, okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, since I'm just an ordinary person now, They'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking. True, but I mean, could you even blame them?
La pobre.
I show up out of the blue, begging and groveling for their help with a show they won't even get paid for.
Qué lástima de ella, coño.
Well, is there anything else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the...
Have I not made myself clear?
El churlo.
You're barking up
Es
the
que
wrong
abruje el
tree.
churlo.
I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else who would. Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh. I wish I could help, really, but...
It's all right, Furina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed.
Había empezado al modo manipulación.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. All right, then. We'll see you around, Furina.
Toodaloo to you, too. I'm going home to take a rest now.
It's too bad, but we have to respect Furina's decision. Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I tell you I'm going to take a step back?
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now?
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
Shortly after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform. Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now? The adventurer assigned to your commission has returned.
Sorry.
Uy, Furina estaba
I was
detrás
just dealing with a
escuchando.
little misunderstanding.
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it.
I see.
Que no nos enseñan, pero estaba allí.
Circumstances have changed a little, so maybe that's not such bad. You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging the musical with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Oh, right.
Mira.
Sounds like everything
Iba a enseñar en la pantalla, ¿sabes? Pero está ahí atrás.
Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina really so harsh with people?
Only joking. Calm down. So, despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very clear, so I'll stop looking for a replacement. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find any. So, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance. We have to.
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new
Medicina
medication from the
especial.
doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a proper farewell show. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
You're right. I'm sorry. I let myself get too worried about the show. I should have asked for your permission first.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on. Sure.
También se ha dado cuenta de que ella trata a Furina. Ahí, ¿sabes?
Hey, how did you... I
Qué
was just
mentira,
passing
¿sabes?
by because I realized I forgot a... All right, I'm coming. No need to drag me. Hello, one and all. I couldn't help but overhear...
Furina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. When you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded things. And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I just feel a bit bad about how it went down. I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that
Paimon se la había
personally.
olvidado. Joder, Paimon, tía. Dios, qué batacazos metes a veces, ¿eh?
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you? I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean...
There's no need to think like that. And no need to keep addressing me as lady. Just Furina is fine. I was wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to if the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep...
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control. Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our troupe.
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she...
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still, no sentence can bring our director back.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Furina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater. She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life, and convinced them people loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from strength to...
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire none of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of things. We've been doing the best we can. But despite our efforts, things are slowly... It's agonizing. But ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than...
Oh.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings, who achieved so much and no doubt had much more to give. I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is also your...
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the traveler here. After hearing this
Furina.
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, they're no longer looking for... I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience, but only if you feel this is something that would help.
Oh, most definitely. We'll take any guidance.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though.
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director. Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epiclese is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to that? An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart. Take, par exemple, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before. And so I should like to observe.
Pero es normal.
For chance to understand.
O sea, no se tiene que torturar por ello porque es normal que no se haya dado cuenta de absolutamente nada de lo que ocurre fuera de ni de los sentimientos de los demás. O sea, ha estado demasiado metida en su papel y en su mente como para... Es que es normal, es que es entendible. En el fondo quiere volver al ruedo, ¿verdad?
No. This is a completely different situation.
Que es verdad que la paña se está pasando y le invento de 3 tortas que la devuelvo al planeta de donde vino.
Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Thank you all so much. our director was a huge fan of Miss
Es de
Furina's
Teiba.
performances, as of
Bueno,
course we all
eso
are.
humano no es, perdona.
All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space. Please excuse the
¿Dónde se ha
size.
confirmado?
It's a little on the smaller side.
Dice de Teiba. Porque no aparece en el... Porque aparece en el Irminsul. Nahida no dijo nunca nada de eso. No, Nahida nunca dijo ni que sí ni que no. Ah, vale. Rayado. Qué guay. Qué mono.
Huh? Lady Furina?
What's Lady Furina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Lady... Miss, these two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Furina on our behalf. You bet! That was the trial of the century!
You helped bring our director's murderer to justice. We can't thank you.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
Yo me está preguntando si no tienen algo de comer.
So, you were saying the little ocean?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show...
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front, trying to realize this dream. Anyway, let me give you a quick summary of what the story's all
Piden
about.
una actriz y no tienen ni el guión, tío. O sea, qué fuerte.
The protagonist of the story is a young oceanid who transforms herself into human form, despite the protests of her family. She longed to live just like any other human. And sure enough, But one day, her true identity was exposed.
So far, so good. A classic tale.
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her script. We need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But people have different opinions on which direction to...
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
Trágico, que a la gente le gusta más. Si hay final feliz, al final acaba no gustando.
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden disappearance?
Yeah, like they say, truth is stranger than fiction. But then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our raw...
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. We have to consider their emotional stake in this. And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from two of our main
Que le
actors.
faltan otros dos actores.
The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He took the director's death pretty hard. He did write to us.
Por favor, y
promising
querían
that
a la
he'll be there for
actriz.
the
Estaban
final
buscando a la actriz
performance,
principal, no,
but
perdona.
we haven't seen or
Querías
heard from him since.
engatusar a alguien
So we're not
para
really sure what
que te
to make
buscara
of
el
that.
resto. Por no decir una lista muy larga. Mira, no tenemos ni actriz principal porque se está enfermando. Pero es que tampoco tenemos guión, ni el otro coprotagonista, ni tampoco la antagonista. Tenemos un lugar de milagro porque nos van a echar. Es que eso es lo que eso le falta.
Huh. Although, now that we have Miss Furina helping us, maybe...
What opportunity? What do you mean?
Maybe you're unaware, but your name has always been like a...
Our director was constantly singing your praises. All of us look up to you as a role model.
Oh, stop. You're making me all flustered. Although, not in a bad way. I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead.
La actriz de voz de
considering all
Furina en
the issues
inglés
we've been
es un
facing.
10, Es un 10 de 10 porque es que transmite muchísimo y lo hace súper bien, Que es un 10.
But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
Makes sense. Okay, priority number 1, let's check in with Paulo and see where he's at with the ending. He went back to Poisson a few days ago.
Poisson?
Said that staying in a friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too
Poisson.
long ago. But I guess it's the opposite.
Yeah, maybe he could use some company.
Poisson.
Poisson. Furina no lo hace tan exagerado.
Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we... So, allons-y. To Poisson.
To Poisson. Bueno. Let's go to Poisson. Ah, qué bonito. ¿Podemos seguir entrando aquí? Porque está súper bonito, ¿eh? Bueno, supongo que volveremos. Lo que no entiendo es que pinta una cama, la verdad, pero bueno. Let's go to Poisson. Ok. Oye, todavía no entiendo. Porque al principio, es que a mí se me olvida todo, ya lo sabéis, ¿no? Tengo muy mala memoria, pero ¿os podéis creer que no se me ha olvidado que al principio de empezar Fontaine me dijisteis que el baguette con V era un super mega spoiler? Y yo todavía, después de acabar Fontaine, no tengo ni idea de a qué os referís con lo del baguette.
Quit following me.
¿Os quedasteis conmigo o no lo sé?
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
All right. Forget that for now. Just come on out. We've got some great news.
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last
Venga,
part
ya
of the
se
script.
llevas ahí 2 meses
I'll be out
metido,
when I'm done.
Paul, ¿no?
Okay then. Looking forward to your masterpiece.
Se no va a salir de ahí. Le metí un vicio al LOL
So,
y ya no va a salir.
as expected, he's missed the deadline.
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the chance to read through and make sure we agree on it.
Someone told me they
Oh,
just
la
seen
que
you in Poisson.
faltaba.
I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are.
I was wondering if we might run into her.
So, you're here for Paolo? Looks like
Paolo?
you could be a while, so
Paolo.
feel free to take a stroll
Sí,
around
de hecho,
town in the meantime. I've made all the arrangements already.
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Uy, a esta no le gusta Navia, parece.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll.
Ah, no. Es que las va a dejar sola.
Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
How are things in Poisson now? Any better?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish there was something.
Please, must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we meet? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them
Muy bien,
cloud
Navia.
everything we do.
Que lo diga Navia, tío, que lo diga Navia. Que no le queda nada.
And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good point. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from a painful experience is easier said
Pues
than
sí.
done. Which brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe. To avoid upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of Furina. It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all, like my father before me. Anyway,
It's really
that was
great.
all. Look after her now.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with. So maybe she's right. You're
Como
the
todos.
closest thing to friend.
Como todos. Uy, ¿por qué miran así con la cara que tenéis todos? Uf.
I'm so grateful that Miss Navia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know it's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything.
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Poisson.
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against... Yeah, I can tell people are watching me.
¿Pero quiénes son esos al lado tuya, Furina? Nadie.
I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or resentment in their eyes. I guess I wasn't quite ready for this after all.
Levanta esa cabeza, por favor. Mirada para adelante.
I'm not
No
surprised
bajes
you're
la
making
cabeza.
yourself go through all of this.
Lina, tú eres demasiado. Has hecho demasiado por todos. Así que ahora que les den a todos. Si no lo comprenden es culpa de ellos, pero porque no saben la realidad. No tienen por qué saberla.
Only the things I want to see. How would that make me any different from before?
Look, there seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
Probably time we made a move.
Venga, Lumindi, 4 cosas ahí. Por favor.
How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson from there.
Venga.
Squall and Fury.
I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll. And here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see a different side of you.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet. I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up. As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind. One after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant. They thought their god would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true. But then the floodwaters finally came, and the Hydro Archon did nothing.
You shouldn't look at it like that.
No podía hacer nada
You were
realmente.
only
¿Qué iba a hacer
doing your
ella?
duty.
O sea... Ay. No podía hacer nada, pero para el resto es porque no quería hacer nada.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder and harder to bear, and I became more lonely and isolated. Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task, and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone. Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario thanks to the help of heroic individuals such as yourselves. Everyone rose to their responsibilities, and I finally regained my freedom.
Que eso es lo más importante.
But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed.
Paimon would have never imagined you'd see it that way.
reward? I guess so. And back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was, and exposing a secret I swore to protect. Believe in the Furina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust. I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. No one could be allowed to know. That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining relationships.
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon totally thought you were just a bit of a diva at heart.
Joder, la Paimon, tío. Pensar que Paimon creía que simplemente era una persona un poco detestable.
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today.
Está muy insoportable, tírala por ahí.
You could at least try to do the same. I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now, at least the choice is in my hands.
Sí.
All right, it's about time to head back. Paulo should have finished the ending by now.
La libertad es lo más importante. Puedes elegir lo que quieres en tu vida.
Sure. Okay, let's head back and check it out.
En el caso de Furina ahora es libre y puede hacer lo que realmente quiere. Aunque la gente sea estúpida. Pero bueno. En esta misión Paimon es muy insufrible. De verdad, es que me entran ganas de tirar a Paimon por ahí. ¿Verdad? Paimon en esta misión fue muy pesada. No la aguante. Paimon en esta misión es muy idiota. Es que es muy loco. Estúpida, por no decir otras muchas palabras. Que es... O sea, ¿qué está haciendo, tío? O sea, no... Funen a Paimon. En esta misión está muy funada. Es que no hace gracia nada de lo que dice. O sea, no es momento de tus chistes. O sea, ahora harían más gracia los chistes de Zino incluso.
Fury. Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried food.
Fish and chip.
Not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips.
¿Cómo se nota que no sabéis? Que no habéis probado la comida española.
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about to pass on free food.
Paimon es lo peor de esta misión. Hace mucho bullying a la pobre Furina. Es que, vamos, es brutal lo de Paimon en esta misión,
Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good looking. That's your job.
Es que la Lumina ha empezado presionando, entonces estaba hateando a las dos. Pero es que la Lumin ha empezado a comprender la situación, a comprender a Furina, a hablar con ella, pero Paimon no deja de hacerla estúpida.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Oh no, looks like they're arguing again. We're back! Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
Ah, you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Un poco más, pero si lleváis esperando a sabe cuánto.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Me? I'm an oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Sorry.
Hostia, cómo está la Paimon aquí, tío.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little oceanid, yes?
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines too. Like when he imparts some solemn words of, if you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one.
En esta misión Paimon tiene un retraso de inteligencia. Parece la Paimon del principio, no la de Fontaine inteligente. Literal. Ponte las gafas otra vez, Paimon, porque si no, vaya.
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
O sea, tú. Van a contar la historia de Furina, es que me lo veía venir.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and legacy. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness. I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying. It was like that until the director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice and asked if I was interested in studying singing from her. I said yes. She took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my condition
decided to flare up. Y volvemos a lo mismo, todo por culpa de Vache.
She sounds like a really incredible person.
Asqueroso. Tu final sí que era bien merecido.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. All of us were so proud to call her our director. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a murderer, my parents weren't around when I was little, so I got sent to an orphanage.
Hijo de un asesino.
The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer." One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I lost all faith in humanity by that point.
Let me guess. Fortunately, the next person you ran into was the director.
Yeah. For the first time in my life, I was somewhere I felt safe. And the day you hoped would never come.
Hombre, Paul, o Paul, ¿cómo te llames?
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here.
Yo 2 meses sin salir y no es el vicio que le metí al LOL.
This is our new artistic consultant.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god, how did you manage to wrangle that?
No se ha enterado de nada, te lo digo yo.
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe.
Same here.
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down. Ah, yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script. I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little oceanid decides she wants to become a human against the wishes of her family. She finds love and friendship in the bustling city, but then disaster strikes. The people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The soil is becoming arid, plants and flowers are withering, and the people begin to panic. The little oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it and investigate the truth of the matter together. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the fresh water to flee the land.
No veas, seguro que no tenías a Tignari ahí dentro. Tignari, ¿sabes? Ay, Dios mío, este le da con Tignari, ¿eh?
Consciousness? You mean the water is sentient?
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a few stories that explore this theme.
Since the little oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis. Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, there were some people eavesdropping when she revealed her secret. The little oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma of her life.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover, and the rest of humanity.
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love, one that extended to all of humanity. Surely the biggest strength of Cleo's character.
There's actually something else that bothered. You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero in our world.
Es pura fantasía, reina.
If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as true to life as possible.
Sí.
What about if the little oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her, her lover makes sure her secret never gets out,
cosas, ¿eh?
and humanity continues down the path to extinction?
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me. And perhaps a little irresponsible to present to the audience.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director O'Reilly's death, both arbitrary and meaningless. On the day when she went missing, Director O'Reilly had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the... We waited and waited at the rendezvous point, but she never came. By the time we returned to the city, she disappeared without a trace. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Increasingly, all the signs seemed to point to her being the latest victim in this...
The director was the kindest soul in the world. Yet she was senselessly sacrificed for the sake of a so-called experiment by someone who had nothing to do with...
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she...
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing. Villemont might know something, but he won't open up to me.
Villemont? The one who's playing the role of the villain?
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief. I think the director's death hit him hardest of all.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a hard time imagining that anyone took it harder than
Estaba
me.
enamorada de la directora. Por eso se ha encerrado ahí.
Because, well, speaking
Lo
of the play being
sabía.
true to life,
Es que había que tener tragedia
I was
aquí, un
deeply,
Romeo y Julieta y
madly in
esas
love with
cosas, y
O'Reilly.
que...
What? You kept that one quiet.
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest about how we feel. I did tell her how I felt once, but she turned me down pretty much straight away. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her, and she'd never considered us as potential romantic partners.
Qué palo gordo.
Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troupe no longer required, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come.
Oh, Paulo.
Paulo.
So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by O'Reilly. I won't let anyone get in the way of that.
Claro, eso es lo que te ha pasado. Ahí has estado 2 meses dándola ahí al dentro con el Tignari, buscando el final que te conviene a ti, porque tú estabas loquitamente enamorado de esta señora.
In that case, you have to straighten things out with Villemont once and for all. We've all had our differences of opinion over the
Yo
ending,
soy con la
but
Dulfiesa.
those two have never seen eye to eye
Hay
on
que hacer lo que
anything.
pasó de verdad, no
One of
ahora
them
al otro con
has to
sus
compromise if
fantasías
we're ever going to reach a
románticas
final decision.
con una persona que ha fallecido, quiera poner el final que a él le place. No.
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's time to go visit Villemont.
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes.
Lo comprendo, a mí también me batearon con esa de hermanos.
Funny you should ask, though. You really do get what I'm going through right now.
Sí, hijo, sí, pero no puedes basar una obra de teatro en lo que tú quisieras que hubiera pasado.
I certainly do.
Rey.
Come on, everyone.
El polo este no vea cómo está, vale. ¡Ay! Mira, perrete. Ay, perrete. ¿Perrete? Es que los perretes se llevan bien con trota. Perrete, que te ahogas. Eso, vamos a buscar al tal Billman este. ¿Qué hace el Billman ahí en medio de la nada? Pregunta seria.
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
Keep up. ¿Esta se junta con Tignari también? Es que era obvio.
Ugh, as if this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here.
Es un
You
familiar
don't
de
need
mi
to take a
casa.
detour. Wait, why are you all looking at me? You're not seriously expecting me to fight, are you?
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen Furina in a
Es
fight
que la
before.
pobre no tiene visión.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be...
Precisely! And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone. And as much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a damsel in distress.
Oye, tengo una
more than
pregunta.
anything.
Tengo una pregunta. El trota se lleva mejor con seres creados accidentalmente, joder. Por ejemplo, lo que ocurrió cuando a Trota le dieron la visión a Nemo. Técnicamente fue Venti quien lo eligió, ¿no? Si eso es así, en el caso de que alguien más reciba ahora una visión hidro. Joder, el wifi, tío. ¿Qué le pasa ahora al wifi?